Welcome to the training levels, level 2. There are a lot of exercises in here, and we're going to make this as concise as possible. Vinny is going to demonstrate Zen. I do need to practice my leaving treats out on the table when I leave the room Zen, though. Okay, we've got that horrible Zen finished. Now we're going to demonstrate eye contact. He's pretty good at that, but it did take some work. The recall is probably the most important exercise you can teach your dog. Vinny was 4 years old when I adopted him, and he had no recall at that time. And now he's pretty good. I can turn him loose in a field and he'll come back. A dog that can lie quietly at your side or where you leave them is welcome in many more places than a dog that cannot do this trick. No, I'm not going to show you the exercises in their full length. That would be way too boring and way too long. And just your general run-of-the-mill sit with the handler going further and further away. Don't worry, you're only going to have to watch one of these. When Vinny sees his leash, he gets very happy because he thinks we're going for a walk. Sorry, Vinny, we're not. We're only going to be practicing lazy leash. The goal here is to have the dog give to a very slight amount of pressure on the leash and to go with the leash. Vinny's having a problem here because he thinks that if he's wearing his leash, he should be on my left side. But you can see that gradually he is giving and going with the leash easier. To teach this, put your thumb and your forefinger on the leash and put a tiny, tiny amount of pressure on the leash until the dog gives to it. This is used when you're taking the dog for a walk. You don't care what side of you the dog is on. You just want the dog aware of the leash and not tightening it. And here's the second step of lazy leash. You stand still, then you walk forward 5 steps, and you turn, and the dog is to be very aware of keeping the leash loose. And here the dog is to continue to keep the leash loose when there are good things on the ground. He doesn't have to sit there, he just decided he wouldn't move. And the next step is make sure he knows the treat's there. We walk past it. He wants to make sure he doesn't touch that treat. And then we walk past it again. And here you go. You can have the treat now. The beginning of retrieving. Nose touching something wood, something plastic, something metal. and touching something that I'm not holding. And targeting is not only for retrieving. Targeting has many, many uses. A very handy skill for a dog to have is to be able to hop into a mat and lie there. They're safer, they're warmer, and people are less likely to trip over them. And we make it a little further away. And you might not always have your mat with you. Well, he can learn to go into a different mat. A dog is safest in their crate though. And a dog that goes easily into their crate in any situation is a more relaxed dog. Because of Vinny's past treatment before I got him, it took me a whole year for him to be able to stay in his crate quietly and relaxed for a minute. This is the exercise that most people have the most trouble with, so I'm going to show you how to teach it. You start with the pole between your feet. And you'll be feeding the dog at your right ankle so that they have to cross all the way in front of you. You can slowly move the pole ahead, but more importantly, do this in many, many places before you move the pole ahead. And now we're demoing jumping. Pretty self-explanatory. This is go around the pole, like we did in the previous exercise, but over a jump first. And the same thing, only we raise the jump slightly. And the same thing applies. Before you get in too much of a hurry to jump higher, do many different jumps in many different places. Some dogs get more excited than other dogs, and it's very important to have a dog be able to turn off and lie down and just chill out. So you can actually practice this. Purposely get them excited, and then stop and be calm, and then get them excited again, then turn them off and be calm. Handling. This was definitely not Vinny's favorite part of the video. He would let me do pretty well anything to him, but that doesn't mean he has to like it. Right about now, Vinny would really like to speak to his agent and renegotiate his contract. And his least favorite thing in the whole world is getting his ears brushed. He lets me do it, but he hates it. This is so embarrassing. All my fans are watching. Okay, I should have spent more time working on this trick. I know. I'm sorry. Homework for level 2. Why might your dog not obey a cue that you give them? Maybe your dog didn't hear or see the cue that you gave them. Maybe the dog was thinking about something else at the time. Maybe you look or sound different today. There may have been a distraction just when you spoke or gave the cue. The dog may not yet have learned the behavior. The dog may not yet have learned the behavior in that situation. There may be a physical problem going on. To learn more about the exercises that I mentioned in this video, join us on the Yahoo discussion list training levels, hosted by Sue Ailsby, created by Aidan, and populated by thousands and thousands of friendly, knowledgeable, helpful people. Another inspiration to me this year has been Horse of a Lifetime, Zenyatta. Thank you so much to Zenyatta's family for allowing so many of us to join us in your history-making run.